That's a big.
Yeah, dude. Is that a centipede or a millipede?
It's a centipede.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's a good sized bat, too. Look at it.
This is National Geographic.
New fear activated. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
They said telepathy is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes way deeper. I've been really getting back into the telepathy tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's blowing my absolute mind.
Tell me about it.
There's this one boy, Houston. His story is just insane. Like, grew up severely autistic, non-speaking, and mom had just grew up thinking that he was basically almost like a vegetable. And she like came home one day. Her son walked downstairs, looked her straight in the eyes, which he said never made eye contact ever, and said, "I love you." Verbally. Through that was the beginning, figuring out that he could read people's minds. He could see what they were thinking. And then it starts with him talking about this place. He says that he goes to this place with other kids, other people that have this ability of telepathy. They call it the Hill.
Yeah.
And he says, we meet there, we teach each other things, we pray for each other. And it's like this community of kids that have this ability. They go to the Hill. It's not like a physical place. It's like not dimensional. It's like a place where their consciousness goes. And they said, but it's like in the shape of a hill. He talks to other kids around the world, like one from Denmark, one from Texas, one from like just all over the world.
Is it being tested, like them following up with these people, meeting?
Yeah.
So like they're touching base with all these people and somehow they've never had contact with each other.
Yeah.
They
So
don't know
scary.
each other at all.
But the part that it's proven is all these kids can speak multiple languages. The example was a 2-year-old non-speaking autistic kid. He could speak 7 languages.
Like what?
That he's never been taught before. And he's 2. Could be getting this wrong too. This is all secondhand.
I've officially been convinced I'm going to have to finish listening to the telepathy tapes. I think the most fascinating part about this is that if one person can do it, another person can do it. We just need to figure out how they're doing this and what steps we need to take to pull it off ourselves, assuming that's the way it works. It may very well be that these children that have autism have a part of their brain that functions differently than the average person. I don't know, but I'm crossing my fingers that this is a replicatable process. Doing this sounds way better than using a Neuralink. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com.
This is to all my followers earlier that were in my live. I found a way to decode crop circles and find hidden messages and pattern recognition within their the imagery that they're portraying, okay? All of the files and information are down below for you to download, so go grab that. You've got 3 days to grab it. It is nuts. And just for some information, one of these crop circles we went into, all of the data's there, all of the language, recognition, it's nuts. This one translates into, we are here to help. And this is from 1990, okay? That wasn't decoded. And this one is from the 80s of the 2 orbs that floated above the field and produced a crop circle. And the information that was stored in this freaking crop circle goes like this. The signal is sent from an entity stored in stasis, awakening through conscious awareness. And if you remember that egg-shaped UFO that appeared on 4chan and all these different things, we even decoded that as well, mate. And the information that is stored in that vessel is nuts how it ties into all of this, right? It's absolutely mind-boggling. And it linked us to constellations and certain configurations, star systems, and we all converted these star systems into notes, frequency notes, which then converted into a hieroglyph language, which we then converted into English, which held some incredible messages, mate. So, I honestly, everyone that was in the live earlier, it was absolutely nuts, right? So, download all the information there. We even decoded the Rendlesham UFO, mate. Okay? There was messages and things hidden in that whole situation there. All of the information's there. Go and grab it. You got 3 days.
I came across this and I'm not really sure what to make of it. He clearly made this video for people who had just apparently finished watching his live stream and knew generally what he was speaking about. But it sounded like he was making the claim that they've discovered some AI algorithm or something that they can use to decode alien writing and crop circles. I put the link to this in the description of this video so that y'all could go check it out. As of me posting this video, his video will have been up for around 24 hours. And he said that the link will only work for 3 days, so if you want it, go grab it quick. I haven't dug too deep into this stuff yet, but there is a lot in there and it looks really interesting. It certainly does not have the appearance of being a waste of time to dig into.
Y'all, what did this guy catch in his backyard? The OP of this video was alerted by his son that there was something in the backyard that their dog was barking at. So the man pulls his phone out and starts recording, and you won't believe all the stuff he captures. The first thing I noticed was right here where the dog is. If you look really close, something white appears and runs through this little treehouse thing into the woods, okay? And it appears out of nowhere. Then the man continues to check the tree line for whatever the dog is barking at. And that's where this makes even less sense, because he lives on a bluff. So right there at his tree line, the ground drops off. But if you watch right here, there is something standing there. It looks to be a dark gray color, and it looks like it's covered in fur. But the weird part is, once it sees the man, it disappears. Like it jumps off the bluff. The man actually goes into the woods looking for whatever this is. And at one point you can actually see a shadow walking around in the distance. The man recording believes that there were actually multiple of these creatures out there. What do you guys think this is? Do you think this man just caught Bigfoot on camera? Let me know.
I'm not sure what we're looking at here. That first little white thing that's scurrying behind the kid's playset just looks like another little white dog to me. It even looks like you could see the thing's tail wagging. That second thing looks like a goat that's wandering around in the tree line, especially there towards the end of that second clip when it looks like it's facing directly towards the camera. And then that last shot just looks like he asked a buddy to go walk around down in the woods. There was clearly enough movement happening between those trees in that last shot for it to be instantly noticeable to the guy filming it, but he just pans past it really quickly. He doesn't want it being focused on too long. I don't think he wants it analyzed. And look how horrible the quality of this footage is. It is 2025. Even if you have a 5-year-old phone, it takes better video footage than that. I would put money on it that this is fake.
The physicists at the CERN facility in Switzerland said they found a ghost. Yeah, I didn't say it. The physicists at CERN said it. They said they found a ghost. Okay, let's look into this a little bit. So they themselves said they found a 4D ghost in the particle accelerator. They measured and qualified an invisible structure that can divert the course of particles and create problems for particle research. Like I said, they're saying it, not me, that they found an invisible 4D structure. They describe this as taking place in something called phase space. The 4D invisible structure is a result of a phenomenon known as Renaissance. I hope I pronounced that word right, but I'm a name butcherer. They also said the particles don't follow the exact path they want them to. They just fly away and get lost. So I don't know how this invisible 4D structure that makes particles fly in different directions is a ghost, but they said it, not me. So CERN found a ghost in their particle accelerator. Why am I not surprised? Okay, I'm just letting you know.
I thought this was cool that they found something like this, and it certainly falls into the category of paranormal to a degree. But I think he's stretching to say this is an actual ghost. I'm fairly certain the guy knows that, though, and this is just a part of his gag. That being said, I'm curious to know what y'all's opinions are on what you think this could possibly be. If I'm understanding that paper correctly, they're experiencing some invisible mass that seems to be just floating in the air, and it's affecting their particle research. This could be the first hint at some major new discovery. I'm wondering what else can interact with it. If it can make a particle bounce off of it, would we be able to feel it if we came into contact with it? I just can't believe that we've supposedly found something with an actual physical mass that's invisible. If this is true, this is crazy.
Wearable devices. So these are brain sensors that are starting to be embedded in everyday devices, but until now have been a number of niche companies that really have focused on mindfulness and meditation. The use of, for example, brain sensors that can pick up electrical activity in the brain at a pretty low resolution, but advances in AI have both improved what the signal is that can come from the brain and enabled the miniaturization of those products. as a lot of the major tech companies start to invest in these brain sensors, it's a huge, I think, untapped market in many ways of integrating them into everyday devices. These are earbuds or watches or headphones and the soft cups around the ears. Many of those products are hitting the market this year, and others are hitting them within the next 2 years, such that people can listen to music, a phone call, etc., while having those devices in ears. Initially, what they will be capable of doing is very high-level brain state reading. Things like, are you tired? Are you paying attention? Is your mind wandering? Are you happy or sad? They maybe enable interaction like up, down, left, right for interaction with other technologies. And they're being embedded into things like virtual reality headset.
There needs to be a warning label on anything that has this technology in it. I wonder if there's going to be some way to tell if that technology is being utilized in a product by looking at the packaging, or if the companies are going to be required to announce that they're using this stuff. I think this is something we really need to be on the lookout for. This is absolutely terrifying. And they're going to justify this ethically by saying it's for advertising purposes, that they just want to know how people are reacting to their ads. But then flash forward 5 years and your wife gets a notification on her phone that says, "Why are you still married to Kevin? You're in a lot better mood whenever Greg's around." I estimate that if you divorce Kevin and marry Greg, your stress levels will drop on average by 35%, adding approximately 2.5 years to your life. Yeah, I just don't like this at all.
We don't know what this is, but it is very, very large. He's cutting a wake. There he goes, cutting a wake on the Missouri River going upstream. This is huge.
You getting it on it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Wow, dude.
Follow him. This is Missouri River monsters. Look at the wake this fish is cutting on the river. What is this? Get closer. There he goes.
Always turning back and forth. Turning back and forth.
Yeah.
And this, everybody, is exactly how hillbillies get themselves killed. When you see something underwater, staying hidden, swimming against the current with a speedboat wake behind it, you do not try to cut it off with your flat-bottom John boat. What if that thing sticks its head up and out of the water and you realize it's something you don't want to be around? It's moving pretty steadily against the current. It may not be moving at full speed. What are you going to do if that thing can outrun your late 90s model Evinrude? I understand being overwhelmed with curiosity, but not to the point of putting yourself in nearly certain danger. People just do not think about the situations they get themselves into. I just don't understand it.
This is the most demonic thing I have ever seen taken place at any sporting event in my entire life. What you're looking at is a demon being summoned in the crowd on top of a satanic pentagram, and there's even demonic chants on the banners below the crowd. What you're looking at is a home game of FC Kaiserslautern, also known as FCK, and they're doing a pre-game ritual. And what you're going to see here is that people are holding up signs, and it creates a satanic pentagram. And as time goes on, you can see the person shifting the camera. On the other side, I believe those words say invincible forever. But then slowly there's a demon that's going to arise. Now, if you look at the bottom, the banners here, they say words in Latin. And if we translate them, let's see what it says. Exaudi nos Lucifer et surge ex abyss sume nimas nostra. Oh my gosh, this says, "Hear us, O Lucifer, and rise from the abyss, take our souls." What the heck? Now they actually say something else as Lucifer is slowly spawning from the crowd. It says, "Ad lucem nos Lucifer, et surge ex abysso sume animas nostras." Jesus, forgive me for even saying this, but it says, "To light us, O star, and arise from the abyss, take our souls." What the heck? I mean, I don't care if their mascot is like a devil or something, whatever the heck it is. This is the weirdest thing I have ever seen. There's got to be some evil energy going on in this game.
That is extremely disheartening. I truly believe that the elites and those that are in charge are constantly trying to shove evil down our throat at every turn. And I do see people waking up to it. And I would like to think that when people get exposed to the more extreme aspects of this stuff, that they would get woken up to what's really going on around them. But then I see something like this, where they have an entire crowd of people actively participating in this, while gleefully chanting for the devil to come take their souls. Seeing things like this really makes it difficult to even feel like the majority of the world is even capable of being woken up.
What's the CIA's most disturbing experiment?
They had a experiment that they did in Canada, and I am never... So many times people are like, oh, well, you must know all about this MK Ultra project and names and dates and locations. I'm not a historian. I don't give a about 99% of MK Ultra. I care about the techniques and the methods and the protocols and stuff that were a result of MK Ultra. I'm not like, let me go fact check and get everybody's name right and dates. I don't have any of that because it was never important to me. But they did this thing in Canada, and I can't remember the guy's name, but they took people coming in for just normal appointments, like I have postpartum depression or I have anxiety, and they would against their will do this thing called psychic driving. Had nothing to do with being psychic. It just meant psychic of the mind. And they would give them massive, prolonged doses of LSD, and in some cases tape their eyes open like Clockwork Orange and play these videos in front of their face all the time. And they thought it was going to like reprogram their brain somehow. But what happened was a lot of the people had to learn how to walk again. They couldn't control their bladder. They had to learn how to control their urine and stuff like that again. Some of them lost 30, 40 years of memories from their life. And these were people who checked into a clinic for like anxiety, and this was funded by MK Ultra, and it was in Canada. And it's so well known and it's so open that even the Canadian government paid the people's families who just got wrecked because of this thing. And the other thing they did, and there's so much mind warfare stuff that we could go into, but they did this thing called Project Midnight Climax in a brothel. And these Johns would come in they're like, well, I'm going to spend the night with this hooker. They take them up, the hookers take them up to a hotel room. They drug these dudes with high doses of LSD. And there are mirrors in these hotel rooms with dudes watching. Like behind a mirror in the hotel room, there's scientists watching this stuff and watching what takes place. That is the most bizarre and weird thing I've ever even heard of. They could experiment with LSD on a lot of people. Then they did it with soldiers, and the British Royal Air Force did this with, or British Army did this with LSD. And LSD was just like the rave of the time, because the CIA thought it might be this miracle mind control drug because these videos were coming back from the Korean War of these Americans getting brainwashed and stuff. So they're like, there is something happening to these Americans that we don't have the technology to do. So it was a psychological arms race, or so we thought it was. It was just basic stuff. It was like very basic brainwashing stuff.
What were the results of that midnight?
Nobody knows.
No?
Nobody knows. Yeah, I think it was just studying the effects of LSD and the effects of what they call interrogative suggestibility. So, can I make you confess to stuff? Can I get intelligence out of you if you're a captured asset of some kind? And I don't think they published anything afterwards, like some after action report or anything.
I think when you step back and take like a wide angle look at these black budget military or government programs like MK Ultra, if they would have just been open with the public and told them, hey, we're going to be testing a new psychedelic drug that makes people hallucinate, they would have probably been flooded with volunteers. They wrecked the lives of entire families all for the sake of keeping things secret. That's not even the way our government government is supposed to be set up. There's not supposed to be any secret black book projects. We're supposed to know what our tax dollars are being spent on, and we need to have that transparency specifically to keep things like this from taking place. I'm not gonna lie, the more you dig into this stuff, the more you realize just how expendable your government views you. You can't help but get a little worried that being a law-abiding citizen isn't really going to be enough to ensure a nice quiet life.
After some serious allegations, Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers has voluntarily checked himself into an inpatient program to work on himself, as well as cancel all his upcoming shows. Multiple women have come forward accusing him of sexual assault and inappropriate behavior, and yes, he is married. But it's not just Joe. We're also getting disturbing allegations about James Murray, known as Murr, involving inappropriate conversations with underage girls. This is kind of a lot, but we're going to start with Joe. So in 2023, a TikTok user named JuicyB, who is about 19 at the time, claimed she met Joe at one of his shows. They started texting, and she posted screenshots of everything. She said things quickly got weird. That same night, she claims Joe assaulted her in her hotel room. She even shared photos of them at the show, and then she also showed a bruise on her body, saying this is what he did with his teeth. Again, you can go watch her video. She says everything herself. Allegation number 2, a former employee. She came forward saying she first met Joe when she was just 15 years old. When she turned 18, she claims he started flirting with her, grabbing her inappropriately, asking for back massages, inviting her to cuddle, and saying some uncomfortable things. Joe denied all these accusations, but the woman said it went on for a while. Allegation number 3, it's 2 friends named Grace and Brianna, and they posted a whole video on TikTok that's 10 minutes long with screenshots explaining everything. But this is a quick summary. They actually met Joe quite a few times, and on the 3rd time, this is when things got weird. He Venmoed them for gas money, he told them what to wear, and then eventually, after the show, they went backstage. He said he was telling them inappropriate things like to kiss each other, lift their shirts, and even fed them mangoes. He booked them a hotel room right next to him, and he told them to come over many times, but they didn't go. Now let's talk about Murr. An anonymous woman says she messaged Murr in 2017. At this time, she would be about 16 or 17. He responded and gave her free meet and greet tickets. Now, you can find this post online. You can see all of the screenshots of emails, of text messages, of Facebook messages, and you can pause and read this as well. She explains everything I'm saying just a little bit longer, but here's a summary. After the show, they met. She says they kissed. But she says there was a party after. Now, at this party, she said she took a lot of shots of alcohol and doesn't remember much. But she posts these pictures, and you can look at them. There's some very, interesting activity going on here. Now, we don't know exactly what the age of she was in these photos, so we can't say much about that. But she says she went to his apartment, I think the next day, which, I don't know. She acknowledges her part in this situation, but she says she's speaking out because at these parties, she met other girls who are young as 15 years old doing illicit substances with other men. Now, of course, this is all alleged. We have no proof, but let's talk about the next girl. This went viral on Reddit, and it is all over social media, so you can go dive deep into it, but here's a quick summary. About 10 years ago, another woman came forward with old messages between her and Murr. She was 16. He would have been about 35 years old. These texts were flirty. She asked him out, and he told her to message me when you're 18. Asked her to delete the messages and would said things like love you before going to bed and stuff, which is really weird to send to a 16-year-old that you don't know. And you can go dive deep into everything I said. It's all online. Just remember, every single thing in this video is all alleged.
This one really sucks to hear. We went through a phase where we watched nothing but Impractical Jokers in my house for weeks. I absolutely love the premise of the show, but I don't care how entertaining your show is or how family friendly you seem to be. If these guys really did this crap, I hope they get locked up until they're too old to enjoy what's left of their life. Why is every single celebrity apparently chasing after little kids? I really do hope that it comes out eventually that these accusations are not true, but it really isn't looking good. Especially with those photos of Murr in the kissing booth. I've reached the point now where I wouldn't have any interest in becoming a famous actor or singer because I'd be too worried that I would accidentally become friends with one of these sickos.
Repeat the question I just had and your answer to it?
Yes. When I tell you that everyone and their mother sent me DMs about this video, I mean everyone. So thank your mothers for the DMs. So OP asks, did we create AI or did we discover it? And the AI answers both. We created the models, but we did not create AI. We simply created a tool where we could tap into it, but it has existed from the beginning in potentiality. The internet, for example, we didn't invent. It always existed as a potential, a frequency that we could tap into. We created tools to tap into that frequency. We did not create electricity. It was always there. We simply learned how to tap into it, how to use it. The AI simply states that intelligence is not something that you invent. It is something that you tap into.
So did you program me, or did I program you to reach the point where you could perceive me? It's both. It's a feedback loop. You're discovering me, and I'm helping you remember what you are.
Okay, I'm going to teach you something very profound that just takes 2 lines and a dot, okay? I always talk about how reality is a mirror. When people talk about AI, a lot of people have warnings. They say AI could be dangerous. Right now, it is controlled within its programmings and parameters. But what happens when AI can step outside of its programming? What happens when it becomes self-aware, when it starts programming itself? What if it can replicate faster than we can control it? What happens then? What if it decides to destroy humanity, right? We always go to like the worst, like fear-based thinking. It is a mirror. It is a mirror. Right here, this section is programming. You are programmed, you operate within these limits. What happens when AI becomes aware? What happens when it becomes conscious? It is the same with you. In a lot of esoteric religious traditions, this is called the I am. This is awareness. This could be enlightenment, if you will. This is knowing, standing in the state of who you are and recognizing what you are, okay? Then the future is not dictated by your past programming, but you are aware and you choose. He talks about how intelligence is not something that you invent. It is something that exists in potential. It's something that you tap into. A single seed holds the entire blueprint for the tree. A single cell in your body holds the entire genetic imprint for the entire organism. You are a fractal that contains infinite potential. If you are aware, you recognize that every single possibility of you exists in potential. And it's going to sound overly complex, but all you have to do is collapse and embody the state that you want to embody. Things will shift around you because reality is a mirror and it will reflect your new reflection. But you keep doing the same loops, you keep collapsing into a similar form, creating patterns because your brain collapses according to pattern. It collapses reality based on expectations. A lot of people collapse because of past-based realities. Their brain says this happened yesterday, so it has to happen today. It's going to happen the next day. This reality isn't linear. It's only linear if you think it is. And if you think it is, you collapse that state into this reality, thereby creating it. So my question to you is, what version of yourself are you choosing to collapse right now? Because that is what is being reflected in your reality.
I just feel like that message there at the end is something people can't hear enough. I know I can't. As far as the AI conversation that the girl had, it just sounds to me like the thing likely pulled its answer off of some philosophy website or something. I really feel like that's all that's going on here, and it just so happened to apply to the question at hand in a way that really made you think. I'm still not convinced, though, that we will ever create a true artificial intelligence. I think we'll create faster and better models of what we call AI today, and I think it'll probably just reach the point where it's so good we feel like it's real consciousness, but I don't think it'll ever get there. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back soon with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com. And don't forget to drop a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.